There are few things more beautiful than the videos we are about to watch from Joe Rogan. Now, Joe Rogan deserves the platform he has. There's a reason Joe Rogan has the platform he has, because he has never lost sight of who he is. He continues to be that level-headed individual that is willing to stand up against the nonsense. And this is why I and so many other people respect him. It's also why he has the left-wing lunatics continuing to attack him constantly, trying to lie about him, the mainstream media trying to lie about him, because he has far more credibility than they do, and it drives them crazy. Well, these clips where he is talking to CNN Sanjay Gupta is a thing of beauty. It's getting millions and millions of views online, rightfully so. Let's check it out. Let's listen to what Joe Rogan has to say. You're going to love this. I'm sure most of you have already seen it, but it's worth watching and worth revisiting over and over again.
Horse dewormer's not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Stop taking this stuff," or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it making
Nobel Prize.
winning the Nobel Prize in 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is.
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing. Do
you think that's a problem that your new?
He has to slow down the conversation because he is so overwhelmed with legitimate facts being thrown right in his face, and it is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
News network lies.
Well, I don't.
Dude,
what did they say?
They lied
What did
and
they
said
say?
I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
They
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch
horse.
of other
if
medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease, and as you say, it's probably, I think, what, 250 million people have taken it around the world?
More,
I get that.
Way more.
So,
way more. Billions of people have taken it.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two
No.
things on the ledger.
You have, before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer?
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before
but they
coming
did
on
it with
podcast.
such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
they did. I watched.
They 100% did. They 100% did. Now, here is Joe having a further conversation about forcing children to get the jab. And again, why is an MMA commentator, a podcaster, why is he far more versed and far more level-headed than a doctor on this issue? Do you know why? Do you know why? Because when you have left-wing ideology that has been put all into your head, you don't have the ability to actually think for yourself. These people have lost the ability to have a legitimate, honest opinion. And that's where we are. When you have that left-wing nonsense just continue to poison your brain, you lose all ability. Obviously, Dr. Sanjay Gupta is an intelligent person. Obviously, he knows what he's talking about. But because he has the left-wing nonsense all in his head from the company that he works for, and he's not allowed to have a different opinion, because if he did, he wouldn't be working there. Because of that now, he doesn't have the ability to just have a level-headed take on what's going on. And that's the difference in Joe Rogan and a lot of these people. Joe Rogan has the ability to have a level-headed take. Joe Rogan actually has his own opinions, and he's able to look at something and go, this doesn't make sense. So let's listen in.
Don't you think that even with a breakthrough infection, untreated, you're probably more vulnerable than the average child who is not vaccinated who gets COVID? Like people have died who are double vaccinated. In fact, there was a guy who just won an Emmy who's
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the odds of that happening to a healthy child are very, very low.
Very low.
But that guy is probably your age. How old are you?
I'm 51.
Yeah, he's about your age. Theoretically, you would be more vulnerable than a young child would be. You vaccinated would be more vulnerable of a breakthrough infection than a young child would be, statistically speaking, right? But you're not worried about
both
catching
rare.
But you're not worried about catching it. You're not worried about catching it because you've been vaccinated and you think it imparts a certain amount of protection. What I'm saying to you is I think that not worry is the same feeling that a lot of people have about their children. They're not worried about their healthy children catching it for the same reason you're not worried about catching it being vaccinated. That if treated correctly, they think that the child probably has a better chance even than you do because you're 51 years old.
I think...
Does that...
I mean, they're both...
That seems reasonable, right?
Well, I think it's... I know the story.
He just and I love how they said it right here. It's as if it's the first time he's left his pro-mandate bubble and he's forced to consider a coherent argument against the mandates. He has no idea how to respond to Joe. He is just fumbling all over himself.
Right.
Well, I think it's... I know the story about this 53-year-old
But you see
guy.
what I'm saying? Like with your attitude that you're not worried about catching it because you've been vaccinated and you're a healthy guy. That is the exact same feeling that people have about vaccinating their children. If they have healthy children and they know that statistically speaking, there's so few children that have died from COVID.
Well, yeah, there are. It's like I think 500 or so children
out of
have died
millions and millions and millions of kids
that probably have been exposed.
Yeah.
But you know, it's again, part of it is not defining this in terms of life and death. I think.
But do you understand my point?
Well, are you suggesting I get boosted?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is your attitude about not being concerned because you have antibodies and you think you would get through it even if you had a breakthrough infection. That is the exact same attitude that a lot of young people have where they don't want to get a shot because they're worried about the consequences, even though they're incredibly small.
Consequences of the vaccine.
Incredibly small. But the VAERS report, they do have deaths.
This is such a calm and respectful way to absolutely destroy CNN and Dr. Sanjay Gupta's narrative, calmly and respectfully, by just bringing a logical and level-headed argument to the table. It blows my mind that we're still in this position. But again, what people have to realize is that when you have left-wing lunatics dominating the conversation, this is where we are. They are not allowed to ask the questions that Joe Rogan asks. They're not allowed to have the opinions that Joe Rogan has because they would be ran out of the building. That is how left-wing logic works. We've seen it from movies to video games to presidential choices, to opinions on this, opinions on that. Left-wing logic does not allow for you to question anything. You are not allowed to question anything. You are supposed to accept whatever they are telling you to accept. And if you question it, if you bring a logical argument to the table, they are going to run you out. They are going to shame you. They're going to make you out to be a horrible person. Look what they're doing to Kyrie Irving right now. Look what they're doing to Letitia Wright right now of Black Panther. Look what they're doing to all of these people that simply go, hey, as an individual, I have questions and I'm not sure about this. And they suddenly shame them. They suddenly throw them under the bus. Look what they did to Gina Carano. This is left-wing logic, and this is a clear just breakdown of the difference in being a free thinker versus being in a left-wing echo chamber. Shout out to Joe Rogan. He continues to be the voice of reason, in a crazy effed up world, and I loved everything I saw from him. So, and Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I think he made a tweet about this. Yeah, I walked into the Lions Den and spoke with Joe Rogan on his podcast for more than 3 hours. You know, friends tried to get me to turn down his invite, but ultimately I'm glad that I did it. The fact that he says friends tried to get me to turn down his invite, but ultimately I'm glad I did it. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, these people aren't your friends. When you have other people in your life that are telling you, no, you shouldn't talk to the #1 podcast in the world, that's people that don't care about you, and they are intimidated like hell that you may actually hear a real opinion for the first time in years. Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you guys for checking out this video. I appreciate you. Been uploading a lot on Geeks and Gamers. Been playing a lot on Twitch over on our Geeks and Gamers Twitch channel, so please follow us over there. And then we're going to keep rocking and rolling here. geeksandgamers.com, our website, continuing to do a great job. Shout out to my writing team. So happy with everything we have working, and the future is bright. So thank you guys for checking out this video. Solo lost money. Raylos are weird. Let's go, Brandon. And we will talk to you later.